All right, question number 2 is asking you to write a congruency statement for the two triangles that you're trying to prove. Okay, so I guess the confusion is coming from is, well, what's a congruency statement? Okay, well, congruency statement is you telling me something's congruent. You know, you're going to write like an equation saying that two things are congruent. All right, so if I label my triangle here ABC, and let's call this EDF, okay, and I ask you to name the triangles, well, you don't really know how to do that just yet because you don't have any information. Okay, most people will look at this and they'll go, oh, well, this is triangle ABC, okay, and then they're going to want to come over here and just name this triangle, let's say EDF. Well, the problem with this is you don't know if, let's say, side AB corresponds to side ED because you're not given any information, okay? And the way you do this is by looking at the markings, okay? This is why marking your diagrams is important. So if I want to name this properly and keep this naming convention, I have to put a mark on side ED to let you know that these two sides go together, okay? Now, since these two sides go together, I know that AB, okay, corresponds to side ED, okay. And I know we talked about this a while back. The easiest way to see what sides correspond with each other is look at your names rather than just the picture, okay. So, if I want to mark my angles, okay, I know that angle A corresponds to angle E, so I'm going to go ahead and put a hash mark there and then put a hash mark there. Okay. I know that angle B corresponds to angle D, so I'm going to go and put 2 marks there and with D 2 marks there to let me know that those two angles correspond to each other. And then finally I know angle C corresponds with F, so I'll put 3 hash marks there and then 3 hash marks there to let me know those go together. Same thing kind of goes for the sides. So since I have 1 hash mark for AB and ED, if I wanted to let you know that BC corresponds to DF, I'll just come over here and put 2 little slashes there to let me know that those two sides correspond to each other. And then finally at the bottom, I'll put 3 hash marks there with 3 hash marks there to let me know that the AC corresponds with EF. So for question 2 on the test, guys, it's important when you write your congruency statement, okay, first of all, to name the 2 triangles that you're trying to prove correctly, and then your congruency statement would be just simply this. You're going to tell me that this triangle is congruent to triangle EDF. So triangle ABC is congruent to EDF. That's your congruency statement, okay? The congruency method that you're going to use to prove it is, well, which one of the methods have we gone over that you're going to use to prove this, okay? And then all this is based off of question number 1. You know, looking at these 2 triangles, let's say I'm going to use method SAS, okay, and this is just as an example. That means, okay, I'm going to pick a side here that's congruent to another side over here, okay? And then now I need to pick an angle that corresponds with the other triangle that's in the same location. So let's say I go up here and I pick angle B, and so that means I have to pick angle D over here. So if I'm going to use SAS, I just got to pick 2 sides with the angle in the middle, so that means if I go S, that goes here, and then so that means I have to pick this side right here, and this would be SAS. So over here I'm going to use SA, and then I would have to pick this side, this would be S. Okay, so the congruency method that I would use to prove this would be SAS. And so question number 2 is asking you to do something very similar to this. Okay, write your congruency statement, which is going to be proving which triangles are you going to prove congruent, and then telling me the congruency method that you're going to be used. Okay. Question number 3 is going to lead into now you have to actually write a proof about which method you're going to be using. So you can't do question 3, guys, unless you do question number 1 and question number 2 correctly. Okay, and that's what I want you all to be working on. All right, hope this helps.